In the heart of Moscow, fate was decided with one deadly trigger. An ordinary morning turned into chaos in an instant. Major General Fanil Sarvarov, a key figure in Russia's military operations, stepped into his car without knowing his day would end in catastrophe. The silent threat was beneath him, a hidden device waiting to ignite. As his Kia Sorento moved just a few meters, the explosion erupted with thunderous fury, shattering glass, crushing metal, and ripping through the calm. The blast not only destroyed the vehicle but also exposed a brutal truth: Russia's security was crumbling under unseen threats. Witnesses and media confirmed that Sarvarov was critically injured, dying later from his wounds, while the shockwave echoed through the Kremlin corridors. The woman representing the investigation spoke softly, yet her words carried a storm. She hinted that this wasn't a random act of terror but a meticulously planned strike, an attack aimed at the very command of Russia's military machine. But why target Sarvarov? Who was he, and why was he the premier target for Ukrainian intelligence? Born in 1969, Sarvarov was no ordinary officer. He was the mastermind behind Russia's war strategies. Since 2016, he steered the training and movement of troops invading Ukraine, his fingerprints on every battlefield scenario. His experience stretched from war zones in Ossetia and Chechnya to Syria's war-torn streets. This was a man who shaped how armies learned to fight. His death is more than loss, it's a deliberate blow, a catastrophic wound to Moscow's core command. For Kiev's leaders, Sarvarov was the teacher of the trigger puller. A dangerous puppet master pulling unseen strings, instructing when and how to strike. His removal suggests a dangerous new phase, one where Ukrainian specialists are not just fighting on the battlefield but are striking directly at Russia's nerve center. The Russian investigation, by focusing on Ukrainian intelligence, reveals an open secret: Russia cannot even protect its own generals within its own capital. The incidents don't stop here. Just months earlier, Lieutenant General Igor Kirilov met a similar fate, a targeted explosion in Moscow. This wave of assassination signals a shift. The conflict isn't confined to trenches or drone raids, it's bleeding into the heart of Russia itself. Every targeted attack rattles Moscow's elite, drawing fear and chaos into their tightly guarded world. Ukrainian agents are not just attacking, they're dismantling the command structure from within, turning the land of power into a battlefield of shadows. How far has the war penetrated? Could the entire system collapse beneath this relentless storm? In this deadly game of brains and bombs, the death of Sarvarov is a stark warning. It's a strategic blow that threatens to cripple Russia's ability to control its own forces. With every high-ranking official eliminated, Moscow's security apparatus faces an uncertain future. The war has become more than guns and drones, it now dances on the edge of a fragile security nightmare, where the enemy is no longer just miles away, but hiding behind every corner. A devastating explosion tore through the quiet Moscow morning. In moments, a car burst into flames, metal twisting and crumbling. The air filled with the acrid smell of burning fuel, smoke billowing into the cold sky. Witnesses later described the deafening roar that shattered the peace along Yasen Avenue. The driver, severely wounded, was rushed to the hospital, but Major General Fanil Sarvarov was dead. The expression on Svetlana Petrenko's face, Russia's investigative spokesperson, said it all. Her eyes reflected shock, concern, and the weight of an impossible truth: the Russian defense system had just been breached. Her words echoed a grim reality: this wasn't just an attack on one man. It was a crack in the fortress, a crack Putin's regime couldn't afford. Her statement hinted at a singular, chilling fact. The investigation pointed to one source: Ukrainian intelligence. The question lingers: how did they get so close? The answer is a web of deep cover agents, underground networks operating in the shadows of Crimea and within Russia itself. It's no longer just guerrilla warfare, this is a hybrid shadow war, infiltrating from within. But why target Sarvarov? Born in 1969, he was more than a figurehead. He was the mastermind behind Russia's military doctrine, the architect shaping how troops move, train, and fight. Since 2016, he commanded the operational training of the entire military. Every move in Ukraine and Syria, every war scenario, passes through his desk. From the Ossetia clashes to Syria's chaos, his influence was vast. His death, therefore, isn't just a loss of a single general, it's an attack on the very command structure of Russia's military machine. Kiev's intelligence knew he was a prime target, a teacher of tactics, the one who dictated the timing of strikes and the strategies of invasion. His elimination is a message: we can strike at the core of your military leadership, even in the heart of your capital. The fallout has been immediate. Within Russia, panic spread silently but violently. Security protocols shattered like glass. The system's vulnerabilities exposed. But this is just the beginning. The attack on Sarvarov signals a larger, more dangerous phase in the war, an interior assault on Russian stability itself. The incident reveals an alarming truth. The fight is no longer only fought on trenches or airfields. It's inside your own home. The once formidable Russian military elite is now vulnerable to precision strikes, to infiltration, to sabotage. So, what is really happening behind the scenes? As the clock ticks, the echo of this explosion keeps resonating, an ominous reminder that no one is truly safe anymore. In the shadowy depths of modern conflict, the war is no longer confined to battlefields. It has seeped into the very heart of Russia's capital, Moscow, where the safety of its generals is now an illusion. The recent assassination of Major General Fanil Sarvarov, the mastermind behind Russia's military doctrine, reveals a terrifying truth: Ukrainian intelligence has pierced Russia's defenses, striking directly at its command structure. Imagine the scene: early morning, the bustling sounds of city life fill the air. A typical start on Yasen Avenue. People rush past shops, unaware that danger lurks beneath the sleek chassis of a Kia Sorento. Suddenly, a deafening explosion shatters the silence, a blast so fierce it shakes buildings, fragments flying like shrapnel in the cold air. The blast rips through the calm, drastically altering everything in one cruel stroke. The city's security protocols, once so tightly woven, dissolve in chaos as emergency sirens wail through smoky streets. Who set this deadly trap? Why was this target so vital? And what does this mean for the stability of a nation trembling on the edge? Fanil Sarvarov was no ordinary military official. Born in 1969, he was the brain behind Russia's tactics, shaping the forces preparing to invade Ukraine, directing the deadly strategies that have left countless civilians and soldiers forever changed. Since 2016, he was the commander shaping the muscles of the Russian army, training, planning, executing operations. From conflicts in Ossetia to Syria, his signature was embedded in every brutal campaign. But his death wasn't just an assassination, it was a direct blow to Russia's war machine. It's a message: no one is safe, not even the top strategists forging Moscow's military future. Ukrainian intelligence understood this, planning an attack with surgical precision, striking at the very core of Russia's command. Official statements only hint at the truth: this was not an isolated act. It's part of a relentless campaign. This cell of targeted killings isn't just about replacing fallen leaders. Each high-profile figure taken out, the likes of Lieutenant General Yaroslav Moskalik, killed near Moscow months before Sarvarov, weakens Russia's war leadership. Commanders in the field, brain surgeons behind operations, all are being systematically eliminated. Mysterious fires, expert assassinations, these acts erase critical nodes of the Russian hierarchy, turning Moscow into a hunting ground. Every death echoes a simple question: how much longer can Russia protect its own? The answer is clear: it can't. Not in its bunkers, not in the skies, and certainly not in the comfort of its luxurious neighborhoods. The flashpoints of conflict have shifted inward, into the very sanctum of power. As Kiev's operatives continue this silent war, the question remains: how long before the entire Russian military command collapses under the weight of this unseen assault? And what will be left once the shadow war finally reveals its full extent? Continuing from our look at Ukraine's targeted strikes, which have decimated Russia's military leadership by eliminating at least 10 high-ranking generals, each a vital piece of their war machine, let's delve deeper. Imagine the roar of an explosion echoing through Moscow's heart. How did the unthinkable become reality? Picture it: April 2025, just months before Sarvarov's demise, Lieutenant General Yaroslav Moskalik met his end in a fiery blast outside Balashikha near Moscow. Like Sarvarov, he was a cornerstone of the General Staff's main operations directorate. A car bomb turned his vehicle into a tomb, proving Russia's capital was no sanctuary. It had morphed into a deadly foxhole. The scent of burning metal lingered in the air, a grim reminder that generals could no longer evade the hunters. But the carnage didn't stop there. The front lines bled with their own horrors. July 2023 brought Lieutenant General Oleg Sokhov's swift erasure. A Storm Shadow missile ripped through his command center in Berdyansk, obliterating him in an instant. As the dust settled and the earth trembled, Sokhov, the mastermind of the 58th Army, saw his defenses crumble along the southern front. Who could have foreseen such a strike, turning a fortress into rubble? Then, June 2023 unleashed the terror anew. Major General Sergei Goryachev vanished in a missile's fury during Ukraine's blistering counteroffensive. Flames engulfed the battlefield, the crackle of ammunition blending with the screams of chaos. His loss left a searing gap in Russia's ranks. Even the skies, once a presumed safe perch, became treacherous graves. In May 2022, retired Major General Kanamat Badashev, piloting a Su-25 fighter for the Wagner Group, plummeted to the ground over Luhansk. A Stinger missile's hiss and the plane's deafening crash sealed his fate. Imagine the vertigo of freefall, the acrid smoke choking the blue expanse. No longer could Russian commanders soar untouched. The war's early days added to the nightmare. Major General Andrei Sukhobetsky, leader of the elite VDV airborne troops, fell to a sniper's unseen bullet. That distant crack from a rifle was the chilling alarm. Russia's protective shields were shattered. Fleeting as a heartbeat, it exposed vulnerabilities that echoed through time. One by one, they dropped. Major General Vladimir Frolov, the notorious butcher of Mariupol, succumbed in the bloodied Donbass. Lieutenant General Roman Kutuzov joined the ranks of the silent. Major General Mikhail Gudkov's plane ignited over Kursk, his fall a thunderous slap. And in November 2024, Major General Pavel Klementiev met doom in November 2024 from a kamikaze drone, its buzz a harbinger of solitude. Each name etched an irreplaceable void in Russia's command web. So, weep or wonder. Can Russia shield its leaders anywhere? Not in frontline bunkers, shivering from the breeze? Not in jets, engines roaring toward oblivion? Not even in Moscow's posh enclaves, where shadows now hold silent threats? Yet, Sarvarov's execution blasts a defiant message to Russia's chain of command: unleash 1,300 drones on our innocents. We'll hunt the puppet master who scripted your onslaughts right at his doorstep. The panic this ignites among their brass is a tidal wave, crushing their spirit. Feel the grip of fear as they hesitate to key ignitions, wondering if today's ride ends in flames. Sarvarov's death cripples Russia's training corps, snuffing out their army's learning fire. But his vanishing from Moscow unearths a bigger chasm, a security avalanche that's left their own turf unguarded. The real sting? Ukrainian intelligence has woven a web beyond borders. How did they breach the Iron Curtain? Their shadowy operatives, partisans like the Atesh network, eyes in Crimea and Russia's underbelly, scour routines of every general, turning daily habits into death traps. That bomb under Sarvarov's seat? Planted by a phantom exploiting yawning flaws in Russia's guard. Could this be the twist, sabotage from within, blurring lines between ally and assassin? And the ripples spread. Not just generals, but Russia's elite tremble. Viktor Avrin, tied to Putin's kin, met a mystery end on a Moscow boat, fueling whispers of an internal storm. On one shore, charges rock the earth, on the other, accidents claim the connected. Friend or foe? In this fog of turmoil, Russia's hierarchy paralysis grows. A seasoned general's ghost looms larger. What if his expertise dies with him, leaving novices fumbling in the dark? The twist deepens. As drones buzz over Ukraine, assassins stalk closer home, eroding the foundation. Will Russia's walls hold, or crumble under this relentless siege? Imagine a war fought not only on battlefields and drones, but deep inside the very heart of Russia. Why are high-ranking Russian officers falling like dominoes? What secret hands are tearing apart Russia's inner circle? The shocking truth is unraveling right before our eyes, and it's far more dangerous than anyone imagined. Despite deploying 1,300 deadly drones against Ukraine, Russia cannot protect its most vital assets. The message is clear: if someone wanted to find the mastermind behind these attacks, they wouldn't need to look far. They already know. The killers don't just aim at soldiers, they target the architects of the war, the instructors, the planners. They seek to decapitate, to paralyze Russia's command. And they are succeeding. Major General Fanil Sarvarov's death is a devastating blow. His loss signifies this: when the commander who teaches the troops dies, the entire military learning process collapses. The training, the adaptation, the strategic innovation, all frozen in the aftermath of the blast. But this is no ordinary assassination. It's a strategic blow that exposes an even darker reality: the security of Russia itself is crumbling from within. How did Ukrainian intelligence strike such a devastating blow in the middle of Moscow? The operation was meticulously planned, a ghostly hand planting a bomb beneath an influential general's car, unleashing chaos in the Kremlin's backyard. The shockwaves rippled through the corridors of power. This was no random act, it was a message. The war has infiltrated Russia's heart, its security, with partisans, deep cover agents, and an unseen surveillance network operating everywhere: Crimea, within Russia, monitoring movements, routines, even conversations. Could the assassin be just a triggerman? Or is the true threat an invisible shade exploiting the gaps in Russia's security web? The implications are terrifying. The same network that took out Sarvarov has already struck other prominent figures. A former crime boss linked to Putin's own circle was found dead in suspicious circumstances. An oligarch's close associate fell victim to what appears to be an accident, or was it another targeted hit? The chaos isn't limited just to military leaders, even well-placed elites are in danger. This wave of assassination signals something more profound. Ukraine's hybrid warfare isn't just on the battlefield, it's inside Russia's most fragile institutions. Partisan groups, branching out from Crimea into Russia itself, have transformed into a covert surveillance army. They monitor, sabotage, and strike from the shadows. The air feels thick with suspicion, the sense of an internal war, more destructive than any battlefield clash. What does this mean for Russia's future? The entire structure of power, security, and control is under siege. The men closest to Putin, the sharpest minds shaping the war effort, are falling. The cracks in Russia's security system are not just cracks, they are gaping chasms, threatening to swallow everything whole. The question remains: how long can a government hide behind its walls before the shadows seep in? And who will be next? A chaos is spreading through Russia, trust is eroding, and fear hangs heavy in the air. No one knows who they can rely on anymore. At every turn, loyalties are shifting, suspicion creeping into even the most secure places. Imagine walking into your car, every sound amplified, the faint hum of engines, distant sirens, wondering if today will be the day the attack strikes you down. This atmosphere of uncertainty is paralyzing the country's military command. A seasoned general, once seen as untouchable, now questions whether his car holds a hidden threat. His mind wakes at dawn, not with strategic thoughts, but with doubts: is there a bomb under my seat? It's a terrifying shift, when even the safest streets have become battlegrounds of distrust. This chaos isn't just a ripple, it's piercing the very armor of Russia. Acts of sabotage in Crimea, railway explosions, and high-profile assassinations in Moscow are evidence that the invincibility of the Russian regime is crumbling. The death of Sarvarov screams a devastating truth to Russia's elite: protection is an illusion. Even Moscow's most guarded streets are no longer safe. The cost of war is spilling inward: elite generals, once secure behind walls and security, now fall victim to unseen enemies. Each killing intensifies paranoia, fearing who's next, who's a traitor hiding in plain sight. Meanwhile, Ukrainians watch with cautious relief. With Sarvarov, arguably Russia's fiercest strategist, gone, confidence among the aggressors falters. The mastermind behind countless brutal plans, the architect of war, has been silenced in a Moscow parking lot. The plan? A calculated strike by Ukrainian intelligence, an operation so precise that it feels almost surreal. The message echoes loudly and clearly: you can't defend your own leaders, and you can't shield your capital. The war isn't only fought in open fields or aerial assaults, it has penetrated the core of Russia's power structure. This isn't just about one general. It's a hallmark of a larger, systematic collapse. As dozens of high-ranking officials disappear, killed by bombings or targeted attacks, the foundation of Russia's military hierarchy is trembling. And every loss signals a profound shift: Russia's once unshakable command is unraveling before everyone's eyes. The fear is palpable, each attack a reminder that no rank is safe, no bunker impenetrable. As Ukrainian forces continue their relentless campaign, they are stripping away Russia's control, leaving chaos in their wake. The ultimate question remains, how long can the illusion of power withstand such relentless blows? With each death of a top general, the integrity of Russia's military command diminishes further. War is invading the heart of Russia's interior, its corridors of power destabilized, its defenses compromised. And behind this violent storm stands a stark reality: even the highest echelons of authority are vulnerable to unseen enemies, lurking within. The battlefield has shifted from the front lines into the very homes of Russia's most powerful men. The message? The war's true battleground is now within the walls of the Kremlin, and it's biting harder than ever, because in this game, no one is truly safe. Your borders, your military might, your missiles, none can shield you from what's happening now. The war has invaded your home, stealthily creeping through your front door. Trusted men are falling inside the very streets you thought were secure. Despite relentless attacks, the heart of your command erodes. Sarvarov is gone. The casualty list grows. The silence in Moscow is deafening, far louder than the chaos at the front. What will this mean for the Russian command? Will more high-ranking officials become targets? Could your own safety be next? These questions hang in the air like an unseen threat. The once invincible fortress is cracking, revealing cracks no missile or drone can mend. The psychological toll is immense, each death, each accident, fuels paranoia, blurring the lines between friend and foe. The death of Sarvarov was not just an elimination, it was a brutal strike against the backbone of Russia's military strategy. A man who planned the destruction of Ukraine now lies in a Moscow parking lot, pulverized by a secretive movement hidden behind shadows. His demise sends a chilling message: no one is safe, not in the trenches, not within Kremlin walls. You can deploy 1,300 drones, strike cities, unleash chaos, but if your own generals are vulnerable, what's left of your empire's fragile core? The silent warning echoes louder than any battlefield explosion. This isn't just about losing a general, it's about the crumbling of authority, trust, and control. The war's cost is no longer paid solely in battlefield blood, it's being paid in the heart of Moscow. As the list of assassinated officers grows, so does the dread. Tensions escalate. The question looms: who is next? Is the Kremlin's safety just an illusion now? Behind closed doors, in shadowed corridors, paranoia clings like a thick fog. Every knock, every whisper could hide the hand of a ghost, an unseen operator exploiting Russia's weakest point, vulnerability within. This chaos doesn't just threaten soldiers on distant battlefields, it threatens the very fabric of Russian power itself. The message is unmistakable. Ukraine's strikes are not limited to the front lines, they've struck at the very heart of Moscow's command. This brutal campaign shows that no fortress can withstand a relentless hybrid war. Every target eliminates more than just an individual, it erodes the confidence, the stability, the legacy of a once dominant regime. So, as Sarvarov's body cools in that parking lot, the echoes of his death ripple through the corridors of power. The cracks in Russia's armor widen. The question remains: how long before the next high-profile target falls? Who is safe? Or is this the beginning of the end for those who thought they were untouchable? In this unraveling chaos, one thing is clear: the war is no longer only fought on distant sands or scorched fields. The battlefield has entered the very core of Russia's security. The silence that now looms in Moscow is deafening. This is the beginning of a new, unpredictable chapter, where the most trusted leaders may be the first to fall. The real question is, in this gripping game of shadows, who will be the next to vanish? And how will this relentless hunt reshape the entire Russian military hierarchy? The answers lie in the darkness, waiting to be uncovered.